Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on genetics for grade 12th. In our last video, we had discussed about the supplementary genes. In this video, we'll talk about sex determination, a very important topic. There are various methods to determine the sex. But in this video, I'll take up male and female heterogamity, and in our next video, I'll make two videos for sex determination. In our next video, we'll talk about how the ratio of sex and sex chromosome and autosomes affect sex determination, that is in Drosophila. We'll also talk about in reptiles and a few interesting examples. So that we'll make in next video. But here, please watch the video till the end. In the end, you will be very clear about male and female heterogamity. What does it mean? And how is it responsible for the determination of sex in an individual? So, sex determination. First of all, what is sex determination? A condition where the presence of certain chromosomes determine the sex of the offspring, whether, I'll write in bracket, whether it is going to be a female or a male. So this is sex determination. How we determine how the arrangement of certain chromosomes or the sex chromosome, basically the last pair of chromosome, determines the amount or the sex of an individual, whether it is going to be a female offspring or a male offspring. So there are two categories which we are going to discuss here, the male and female heterogamity. So I will divide the board into two. We'll do the first male heterogamity, and in this side we will do the female. Why is this term given first of all? Because the individual or the organism which will have heterogametes present in it will only determine the sex of the child. In male heterogamity, the males, they show different heterogametes, whereas in females, the females have heterogametes. We'll talk about it how. Male heterogamity can further be discussed in two scenarios. One scenario is a very common one which we have done in grade 10th and then 11th also, that is XX and XY scenario, jiska cross bhi we do. Next is XX and X0 ya fir 0 scenario. Fine. So herein, this is a condition. X and XY, these are the sex chromosomes. I'll write here, कुछ बच्चों को थोड़ा सा दिक्कत होता है समझने में. They are sex chromosomes, not the others. That means we have 20, if we talk about humans, 22 pair of autosomes and the last sex chromosomes we are talking about here. These are also sex chromosomes. Fine. So now we'll talk about it, that how does it happen. This XX is going to give rise to a female and this is a male. Fine. Now when we will cross, or first of all, the gametes which will be produced, the gametes which will be produced here in this scenario will be X and X, or the ova which are produced by the female will have X and X chromosomes, and the sperms will have X and Y chromosomes. Now we'll make a Punnett square to explain this. Female here, male here, make a cross. So what possibilities do we get? We get 4 possible conditions. That means 2 females and 2 males can be produced, 50-50. But what we need to remember, that this different Y chromosome is going to determine the sex of the child, because the Y chromosome only comes from the male. So male heterogamety is responsible for sex determination here. Fine. So this is how. And what are the examples where we have it? The example would be humans and Drosophila. Drosophila shows one more mode of sex determination, which we'll do in our next video. But yes, Drosophila also shows X and Y type of determination. Now herein we have XX and X0 condition. This is a female, and obviously we are talking about male heterogamity. This is heterogametes. What do we call heterogametes? When both the chromosomes are different. XX is homogamous, XY is heterogamous. Here also homo, hetero. So this is a male condition, and this 0 means that there is no other chromosome, only one is there. So we express it in the form of a 0. So what do we get here? The ova, they have again 2 ova with X and X. Here we have with X and 0, or you can say there is nothing present here. This is 0. Make a cross again. So it is X and X, X and O. So what do we get here? X and X, X0, X0. So again the situation is the same. We have 2 females and 2 male offsprings. But again, this 0 condition, this no condition is going to determine the sex of the child, that is male heterogamity. Fine. So this was studied in grasshoppers. So the example here is grasshoppers. Fine. So this is male heterogamity, where the males have heterogametes X and Y, X and O condition, but the females, they are homogamous. So the males are responsible for the sex of the child. Talking about female heterogamity, that means the females will have heterogametes here. The males don't have heterogametes, the females have heterogametes, and the females are responsible for the sex of the child. So here also we discuss it in 2 ways. Here also X and Y chromosomes are here, but still we use different alphabets here to avoid the confusion. So this type is known as ZZ, ZW. This Z is for X and W. This W is for Y. Fine. So to avoid the confusion between the two, we use it. And again ZZ and Z not condition or 0 condition. Now here the things, they are ulta, reverse. This is a male and this is a female. Again this is a male, and with heterogametes is a female. Other things remain the same. We have offsprings, gametes produced here. So these will be the sperms. So what do we get here? In sperms we get this Z and Z. Here in ova we have Z and W. Here we have Z and Z, and we have Z and nothing here. Fine. So make a cross again. Same thing. Male, female. So what do we get? ZW, ZW. 2 males, 2 females. But here also this W is going to determine the different conditions. So that means, but where does this W comes from? It comes from the female. So that's why it's known as female heterogamety. That's why we call it female heterogamety. Very important thing now, examples. It is seen in birds. It is seen in butterflies. Fine, it is seen in birds and seen as butterflies. It's also seen in a few fish. Fine. So these are the examples where we can see female heterogamety. Come to the next scenario. The same thing. We are going to make the cross again. What do we get? The male here and the female here. And we get the same condition again. So here also we have 2 males and 2 females. And the example here also, the female is responsible for the determination of the sex. The example here would be butterflies and moths. Many butterflies and different types of moths. They show this type of female. So what we need to remember is male heterogamity is where the heterogametes of males are going to determine the sex of the individual. Female heterogamety, the heterogametes, they come from the females here and are going to determine the sex of the individual, and the examples very, very important. Fine. So this is about the male and female heterogamety. In our next video, we'll talk about other different categories in sex determination in Drosophila, in reptiles, and a few interesting other